Hello and welcome to my project. My name is Melanie Doskocil and my final presentation today is on dancers and their ligaments and potential core weaknesses. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day and I hope you enjoy it. Ballet is a beautiful, fluid art form that requires years of training to master. Even after many years of a professional career, ballet dancers often find ways of pushing the limits of what is possible with the human body. And there are many in the field who wish to strongly differentiate ballet dancers from athletes due to the artistry involved. But dancers are clearly athletes in the degree to which they require sophisticated physical capacities to perform at a high level. Injury is a common occurrence for ballet dancers, as in all athletic endeavors. One study of a Swedish professional company found that 95% of the dancers in a 5-year period suffered an injury. Injury can be caused by many factors. Stress and overuse are the most common cause of injury, but accidents that cause traumatic injuries are also common, as well as injuries related to weakness, poor nutrition, and even improperly built dance floors or improperly fitted footwear. Ballet dancers spend hours training daily in technique classes and rehearsals to master their craft. However, there is research that suggests that a dancer's daily regime of training is not really enough to sustain a dancer's physical health over a long period of time. Extreme hypermobility coupled with an unnatural outward rotation of the hips and thighs and constant repetition is required for success. So many ballet dancers do not have bodies that naturally attain these shapes, and often biomechanical compensation occurs. This can result in weak areas that are prone to injury. For example, Daryl and Rebecca are demonstrating a range of motion test for turnout, and you'll see that Daryl has hypermobility in her hips, which allow her knees to go straight out to the side and her hips to the floor, where Rebecca has a normal range of motion, but in ballet it prevents her knees from turning out and for her hips to go flat to the floor. This is Rebecca, and Rebecca is going to demonstrate for us how to work within the range of motion that you have. So when a dancer forces their turnout beyond what is natural, and she's going to show you, they try to put the toes straight out to the side, but you'll notice that the arches are rolling in. It's very difficult to straighten the knees all the way, and the kneecaps are pointing forward, and if I come around to the side, her popo or her behind is probably sticking out. And this is going to make it very difficult for her to keep her placement when she's dancing in the center. But if she works with her true turnout, the feet come in a little bit. Now the arches can lift, the knees can straighten, the kneecaps are pointing over the toes, we have good pelvic placement, straight under the spine, and now she can move quickly and effortlessly within the range of motion that she has. So this video is just one example of how dancers try to compensate biomechanically if they don't possess natural rotation in the hips. This compensation can definitely lead to severe injury, and it's much healthier for a dancer to work within their natural range of motion. From personal experience and after interviewing a physical therapist and a personal trainer who work with professional ballet dancers, I have learned it is common for ballet dancers who train and perform at the elite level to have lax ligaments. No one's really sure, or there hasn't been enough research done to know if this is through training from an early age or if it just happens that those that make it to the elite level are naturally built this way. So there's still a debate going on about that. But ligaments are the safety straps that prevent joints from moving beyond their healthy range. And while this laxity of ligaments is desirable in professional ballet, it can often lead to injuries, and it does cause recovery from injuries to be slow, and it can cause an overall weakness. Ligaments are fibrous tissues, and they're made up of water, collagen, elastin, lipids, and proteoglycans. Water makes up some 2/3 of a ligament.
Protein is used to build the collagen, and fats form lipids. So while the dietary needs of ballet dancers, including issues with deficiencies, is not really within the scope of this project, it is important for ballet dancers to consume sufficient water, protein, and fats in their diet to provide not only a basis of overall health, but to also support healthy ligaments. Because ligaments have a greater amount of collagen than elastin in them, they are stiffer more than they are stretchy. Ligaments also have a crimping microstructure, which you can see in the picture, that allows them to elongate to a certain point without damage. However, once a ligament stretches beyond its crimping ability, it no longer rebounds. It remains in the stretched out state. Some dancers stretch their ligaments into a lax state intentionally, while others have naturally lax ligaments. Dancers with ligament laxity can't strengthen a ligament or do exercises to make a ligament tighter. No one can. Therefore, it is an important part of injury prevention for ballet dancers to strengthen the muscles around the joints, as well as to maintain an overall strong core to support overall ligament laxity. The core is often thought of as just the abdominal muscles, but it really encompasses all the muscles in the torso from the shoulders to the pelvis and from the back to the front. It is important that the focus is not just on rippling abdominal muscles, but also on the deep intrinsic muscles along the entire torso that support the spine. Having a strong core can also support hypermobile joints. Hypermobile joints are a condition often promoted and cultivated in professional ballet. Joint hypermobility is defined as an excessive range of motion. Some larger ballet companies now screen dancers with the Beighton hypermobility test, and you can see in the diagram on the left with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 photographs. Those are different tests that doctors do for hypermobility. This allows physical therapists to work with dancers who test positive for hypermobility, and these dancers are given specific exercises to target weak and hypermobile areas. And for your viewing pleasure, we have this video of a hypermobile ballet student. This is Daryl, and she definitely has lax ligaments and hypermobile joints, which allows her to do stretches like this. However, she also has strength to support those hypermobile joints and ligaments, which allowed her to hold the leg in the air. Otherwise, it would just flop to the ground. One very common weak area in dancers in the core is the transverse abdominis. These are abdominal muscles that help with the forceful exhalation of air out of the lungs, but they are also a major supporting muscle of the spine and a stabilizer of the low back and pelvis. Ballet also requires a very supple and flexible spine that moves into extreme ranges of motion. Lordosis is the typical convex bending of the lumbar spine, and it is a requirement for stability and erect posture in bipedal humans. Ballet dancers, however, often display hyperlordosis and hyperextension of the lumbar spine. And without intense support of the abdominal muscles, there can be trauma to intervertebral discs and spinal joints. Weak transverse abdominis can lead to back injuries, as well as leg and knee injuries if the pelvis and spine are not being properly stabilized during training. And again, for your viewing pleasure, we have our ballet student, Daryl, to demonstrate hyperlordosis of the back. So you can see really clearly here that she is hypermobile and hyperlordotic. Lax ligaments and weaknesses in core strength and stability contribute to injuries in ballet dancers, not only in the back, but also in the arms, legs, knees. Screening for hypermobility and lax ligaments plays an important role in injury prevention. Extra conditioning in core strength and stability is also important, and that can be done through physical training programs with circuits, weights, Pilates, gyrotonic, and other systems. It will help prevent injuries as well as support the joints. It is necessary and important for dancers to become aware of their joint hypermobility and to learn healthy practices to avoid future injury. The athleticism of dance requires that dancers train systematically and mindfully, eat a healthy diet, cross-train to prevent injuries, and self-monitor to maintain optimal functionality. Thank you all for taking the time to view my presentation. I hope you have a wonderful day.